I got involved with 3D printing, it's been about a year now. The most rewarding part is to be able to offer a product out there that there's basically no standard of comparison to it. It's a very unique type of product. I also really enjoy the fact that the computer is very, very precise. It allows you to do shapes that the human hand cannot, and that is what people actually find fascinating about my work. I come from the music industry. Basically, I'm a film music composer, so I've been using computers since the 80s to do music, to do graphic arts, to do whatnot. I don't know if you've seen my website. Okay, the pictures, all the information in there, it's all me. It's all my work. Okay, so I do it from A to Z. In the music industry, you grow up knowing that if there's 10 different type of tasks, there's not enough money to hire 10 different people. So you have to learn to do it all yourself. Otherwise you won't survive. You can't survive. So you have to have many talents. The thing that actually binds it all for me is the computer. Mm-hmm. That's basically the central thing that actually connects me to all of these things. So the computer basically becomes like an amplifier for whatever ideas, whatever resources that I have. And that's how I've been able to jump from one medium to another, always through the computer. That's my central link to all of the work that I do. The jewelry is something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to be a part of the fashion industry. Just couldn't quite get a handle on it, you know. And the old business model was based on the fact, well, you design something or you come up with a concept, then you're going to need to go and find yourself a designer somewhere, and then to have it manufactured, you have to be ready to put up a lot of money. That's the one thing 3D printing allows you to do. You don't have to invest a lot of money to get your ideas out there, to create a market for whatever product you create. And I've been able to create a market for my product without sinking a lot of money into it. That's what's so amazing. It's just amazing. And I've been able to do it relatively on a dime. All you need to do is put in the hours. The technology does everything for you. Well, essentially what's going to happen with this type of technology, you're going to see the same thing that happened in the music business in the 90s, with guys actually having studios in their homes and whatnot, and you're having artists which are self-produced, and they're actually putting their work out there, they're actually generating, and they're actually earning a living doing it off the internet or whatever medium that they're using. You're going to see a lot of that. And that will have a profound effect on the actual manufacturing base that we have. It's built on a model. Right now we're built on a model that is from the Industrial Revolution, which is more than 100 years old. Mm-hmm. This will change the model. You know, we are right now in an era of technology and communications. It's all information. It's all based on information. Whoever can actually innovate and create different set of codes, because really what you're buying nowadays is you're buying codes out of a computer. You have an interface that's actually showing you this is music, this is picture, but in reality, through the back door, you're buying a set of codes. That's all you're doing. The same thing's going to happen with that technology. Mm-hmm. It may take a little bit of time. Right now, I see it being at the same area that the photocopiers would have been in the late 70s when Xerox first came out with photocopiers and whatnot. It took a little while for people to accept the medium. It took a while for the prices to come down on the machines and people to realize what it can do, what it cannot do, and evolution moves on, really. What I do is I do the rounds. And the only way to really accurately judge the type of impact this type of technology has is to go out there to meet people. Show them your work. Explain to them exactly what the technology is, what it can do, and some of the advantage of it. I'm not going to say it's better than something else, but I will tell you it's more precise than a lot of things. And for some people, they find that very fascinating, while other people find that totally repulsive. So it's a different mindset, but you won't be able to really judge what it is until you go out there and you have people say to your face, this is garbage, this is not art because it came out of a computer. You have people which are totally bewildered just when you tell them this came out of an actual printer, you know. I go and I introduce myself and I say, here's what I'm offering. They're basically 3D prints. And they look at you like, okay, what is this guy talking about? And the next question that I lead into is, have you ever seen the results of 3D printing? And of course, they'll go, no. And that's an opportunity to actually show the work. So I have a little bit more input in that respect. We'll see how it goes. Right now it's a growth area. It's growing for me. Updating the designs continuously, and it allows me to be very creative. Once you know the mechanics and you actually know the physics, when you're in that computer, you can get pretty creative. And in the past, that's all that I have known, how to be creative with that particular set of tools. The biggest challenge is going to be for people to accept the actual finished product that actually comes from that particular technology, especially in the retail side, because I've been doing the rounds, I've been talking to a lot of merchants, I've been trying to get my work exposed as much as I can, and some of them, you can see it in their face, they're starting to realize, wait a second, I have a store full of merchandise that was done the old-fashioned way, from molds to handmade or to whatever it is, that's basically come from offshore type of companies, which is basically designed to be mass produced. Then all of a sudden they're faced with a different class of product that virtually has no competition whatsoever, and you can tell it really scares them. Right now I would probably say it's the auto manufacturers. It's perfect for them to actually do prototypes before they can actually send them to offshore manufacturing, where they're doing die casting or whatever process that they're using now. So I think for them, but I would probably imagine they've been using it far longer than we have in the arts field. Right now, I wouldn't like to be a distribution company. I wouldn't like to be a mold maker. I think that's going to be on the way out. I see a time where people will need parts for whatever products. They won't be buying the parts in the store, they will be buying a set of codes that the manufacturer will be actually selling them. They will upload the codes, pay for them, and go to whatever company has 3D printers and actually print the part that they need. That's something that eventually will happen. How quickly? I don't know. Okay, copyright is a funny issue. Like, I've been through this in the 80s and the 90s in the music business, when the rap artists were basically using sampling and they were sampling phrases and whatnot. It ended into court, and eventually it turned out that whatever they would rip off, they would have to pay for, if you can use the term ripping off. 3D printing is like photocopying. It will be very hard to enforce certain type of thing. The whole idea is to be able to innovate and to be very artistic in the way that you actually design things. That way it's a lot harder to have a standard of comparison and have someone come and say, you took this idea from this or whatnot. It will happen. There will probably be a lot of legal fights later on, just like sampling and in the music, and eventually it will taper off and things will move on. Mm-hmm. It's been a really fun ride. That there's no doubt about it. The reception that I'm getting with the actual jewelry that I'm doing, people are buying them faster than I can actually make them, quite literally. You can't imagine going into a room, showing the stuff, and seeing a bunch of women actually go nuts on you. And I've never seen people throw money at me so fast. It's unbelievable. And for me, it's more the idea that I like to see people walking with my creations. So my creations get a lot of exposure that way. The reaction has been unlike anything. You know, people are actually bewildered at what it is. They're actually marveling at it, you know. So we'll see how it goes. For me, it's growing. I'm in a position right now where I'm going to be introducing glasses, reading glasses. The beauty of this is that I'm in a position to actually do the custom designs for different size of faces and for different individuals. Mm-hmm. So there's sort of like a byproduct that's attached to that. There's a different type of service that's actually attached to that as well. So that's something that I think will do very well for me. Right now, there's a lot of interest in the retail as well for that particular type of product. Marketing, I'm not sure that it's at a point where you can do mass marketing with it, and I think it has to do with the actual cost of production. Right now, it's nearly impossible to actually create an object that already exists on the market that's being mass produced in China. You won't be able to compete in terms of price. Okay, you might be able to compete in terms of quality, will probably be better quality, but the price factor won't be there. The consumer has been used to this particular type of product that's been offshore, so it's very hard for them to go and say, well, why should I pay extra money on this when I can get something that's similar for that kind of money? So the only way that you can actually go forward is to be able to create stuff, be very creative, things that really sets it apart. That's a very niche type thing, and I think that's where 3D printing is right now. It's a niche thing.
Well,
you need to be able to be good in different type of disciplines, which is what I'm finding out with 3D printing. If you teach that to kids at schools, it's like anything else. Some will keep up with it, some probably won't have the aptitude for it. Anymore, that university, they take math courses and they do teach them how to work with fractals, and they don't have the aptitude for it. I'm lucky, I do. I understand the theory behind fractals, I can work those formulas, not a problem. But not everybody has that particular type of talent. I think it's important for them to be aware that the technology is there, that it's coming, like everything else. Right now I'm seeing high school students and I'm seeing college students, and a lot of them, what I'm seeing what they do is typical lazy students. They go online and they download whatever they can get for free, and you have to be careful. Some of the stuff that's out there on the web is not very accurate, so it's like everything else. The good information, you have to pay for it. Nobody's in business to give it to you for free, and they shouldn't. It's like software. Computer programmers like to eat. They work very hard at what they do. They should be compensated for what they do. How will it survive here in Canada? I don't know. A lot of it's going to depend how quickly the manufacturers actually embrace this. And here in Canada, we're not known to be innovators, and that is what really scares me. We do not innovate. We do not put a lot of money into innovation, into research and development, and that's why a lot of these countries are just walking all over us right now because of that. The niche thing, it's okay. It may never end up as being a mass-produced thing. Maybe in 50 years, 100 years, I don't know. I really don't. It's important for people to be aware. I think I made that, very clear. It's part of my mission and my mandate. When I go out there and talk to people, I feel really great. I really believe in the concept. I really believe in the product. I really believe in the technology. That's what comes across when I go see people, and that is what I'm trying to sell, as well as, as my work. Because let's face it, the fact that it's new technology, that it's a new type of product, does help to sell. It does.